Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Tales, Trails, and Taverns. So, if everybody had listened before, we've done a couple episodes on Gettysburg when we went there. Me and Rob went out to Penner's Paracon back in May of this year. And the year before we went to Centralia, this year we went to Gettysburg. Spent 2, maybe 3 hours before the weather started shitting down on us and getting it, just pouring and thunder and lightning. So, Christina from Sasquatch and Sourdough let me know that she has been to Gettysburg many times, had several different crazy experiences, and so I invited her on, and she's here with us tonight. Christina, how are you?
I'm great. Actually, it's raining in Baltimore. Just look at that.
Oh, nice.
Yep, just like the Counting Crows song.
Oh, I love those. I love those old songs. Yep.
They had one good album.
Right. Yeah, we were some of my friends were we did a veteran hike over the weekend, the Reverend Warriors veteran hike. We ended up at Mohegan Sun, which is a casino in the area run by the Mohegan, the Native Americans in Connecticut.
Okay.
And we stayed there late into the night, and they were playing 90s music all night. Counting Crows was definitely on there, and we were just having a blast,
Yes.
like reminiscent and being clearly the oldest people out on the dance floor at 1 a.m, but it was still super fun.
Yeah, but so apparently the DJ like either knew your audience or didn't care. Like he was
It
just
was
like,
a live
I'm
band,
just
so they were
nice.
playing all kinds
Yes.
of covers and a lot of 90s, and honestly, everybody was really into it. Even people who are
That's
clearly
awesome.
much too young to have been in the 90s. But
Yeah, they're all wearing their Nirvana shirts out there.
they
like
do.
the
They all
12-year-olds.
love the 90s. The 90s are making this huge comeback. And I'm glad because I only wear bootcut jeans and like I just feel and bootcut jeans and the
T-shirts.
grunge style shirts.
Yeah.
T-shirts and flannels. That's all I've ever worn, and that's all I'm going to ever wear, so I'm glad it's in style, at least for a little bit.
I feel like I've been making that joke more often. Like, I'm like, look, I'm wearing the same outfit since middle school.
Yeah.
Yay.
Pretty much. Same music, same clothes.
Exactly. But then I have to do adult things like I did today and like renew my registration. I'm like, this doesn't feel good. This is too much adulting.
I was supposed to have jury duty on Thursday, which is another terrible adult thing that you have to do. Thankfully, it got canceled.
I'm blowing this off.
They plead out or something, so I didn't have to go. I don't have to go. Thank goodness.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, every time I've ever had jury duty, it's been like, you don't qualify. Because I'm just like, I hate people.
Yeah.
Which is not true, but still.
Right.
I'll say anything to get out of this.
I've done it once. I served on a murder trial one time. And that was quite interesting. I got to see
That's not awesome that people murder, but that's kind of cool.
No. It's terrible that somebody died, but it was interesting to see the process and see how the law in our country works. At least in Sanford, North Carolina, this wasn't in New England.
Yeah. Did you come back and be like, now I'm a true crime expert. I know how to do this.
That's right.
I'm a defense attorney. Well,
exactly.
Man.
So yeah, so Gettysburg, when we got out there, it was we had slotted like 2 or 3 hours to be out there, and it was clearly much too much to cover in just 3 hours. We had no idea how much we were getting into.
It's definitely, so we're about so I'm in Baltimore, so we're like an hour and 20 minutes away. And it's, when we were like probably in our 20s, we would just go and just like drink and go on stupid like ghost tours and stuff. Like I'm a big skeptic of ghost tours because I don't know. I don't know if it's like a prideful thing where I'm like, I know more than you, or if it's like, I don't know. Like I feel like I get in trouble because I'm always making fun of what's his face from Ghost Hunters, who also just dresses like he's from a 90s club. And if you listen to my podcast, you'll hear me. I just bash him all the time. One day I'm gonna get a letter. I just feel like people are like that. Like they just go and poke the bear and they're like, come at me, ghost, woo, whatever, And I'm like, okay, no, that's not how we behave. And so like that was like my younger side of doing things. But I think when you go intentionally to try to figure out what's going on there, it's a very, very heavy place because of literally the streets ran with blood. So you can't have that and not have some sort of spiritual stuff going on for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely a vibe when you get there, and it was something like 28,000 souls lost their lives there in 3 days July
in
1st,
3 days.
July 2nd, July 3rd. Yep.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
what's crazy,
It's crazy.
I was listening back on actually one of my own podcasts because I did like the whole history, the 3 days, the battles, and I
Mm-hmm.
was just trying to get reacquainted with it because it's been a while since since I did that one. But yeah, on the first day, it sort of started as an accidental skirmish as they were coming up. The South was coming up. General Lee was coming into Pennsylvania and making his way up through the mountains, through the valleys, trying to sneakily get in and get into Gettysburg, which is surrounded by higher ground, so they thought it was going to be a good place to spot, camp out as they could get into Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually caught him off guard on the first day and drove the Union back through Gettysburg and actually took the town on the first day. Which I didn't realize the Confederates even had a foothold at any point there.
It's crazy because like, so the most recent time that like my husband and I went, we really paid attention to like the boundaries of the like all of it. It's just crazy. Like you can see if you stand in like the main street, like you can just see like the almost to the top of it. I mean, it's just you're in kind of like a valley, but it's like you still see, just thinking about all of those soldiers coming through there must have just been the most terrifying thing ever.
Right. And to not expect them at all.
Yeah.
Just happen to see, hey, look, there's a whole army coming
right.
cruising on up here.
And the outskirts, like where all the fighting happened. I mean, I am not a historian at all. And I'm lucky that I know what Gettysburg sort of kind of was like. So please don't quote me.
Okay.
It like, I'm not a historian.
Writing all this down.
Unless I have notes in front of me, which I did not prepare. But like, it's crazy because it seems like that area, there's nothing, it's not like there's stuff there. Like it's not the town. It was like outside of town. And it just, I don't know. I just can't get over how much people like hiked and marched and like that's how you battled back then. So even that, like the time it took them to come and be in that town is just wild to me. Which is crazy. And I've been to Antietam too, and that's like totally different vibe. Like it's really weird. Like there's just something about like if you guys have never been to Gettysburg, it's worth the trip. I mean, I'm one of those like weirdos that's like, let's play the license plate game. Like whenever we like road trip. So I'm always looking at people's like license plates. So I'm like, look, that person's from Idaho. That person, whatever. Like, so no matter where you are from in the country, it's worth the trip because it's such a small town. Like you get big history with like a small town vibe. And if you choose to do the whole ghost thing, there's plenty of ways to just terrify yourself. Because I totally scared the crap out of myself when I was there.
Yeah. One of the things that I remember we went to check out the Devil's Den and made sure we got to see that because we had heard that there was a ton of activity there as far as ghosts and seeing stuff. I was blown away by like the way the rocks are and the shape of the rocks are, and then learning later that they had the battle at the Devil, and then moving on to Little Big Top, and I'm looking around at it, and it's a giant
Little Round
rock.
Top.
Yeah, Little Round Top. And just the rocks around there, they're so big, and the gaps in them are so big, and it just when we were talking about it later and talking about the battle there and how the bodies were just everywhere and filling up the rocks, and it's like that's a lot of bodies. Like just to see all this and see all these rocks, and you're running over these things, trying to go from this spot up to Little Round Top, and it's not an easy walk up that hill. I mean, I'm looking at this hill going, could you imagine? Me and Rob, we both served in the Marine Corps, so we both served in Iraq, and we're like just talking about it, like I don't know that I can even consider myself a war veteran anymore, knowing that these guys did this, charged up this mountain into oncoming fire.
Oh, I love that you have that perspective, though. Like, that's definitely a very interesting perspective on, like looking at it as a veteran. I would never look at it like, I mean, I would look at it in terms of like being empathetic, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Empathetic.
I know what you're saying.
Empathetic to like the loss of life and just the body count. I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then in that area, yeah, you're looking from one small, like, one little rock, not little, but one further like down in the valley, and then you're looking up, and then so you can take a bike ride around that whole area, or you can do like a car drive through it, and that is crazy. Like just the time it takes to go through that, and like you're looking at all the statues and stuff and the memorials, but just looking at the vantage points that the soldiers had and some of the hiding places that they could have had. But you're right, just about like the body count alone. And then they had to like take them. This is the part that always freaks me out because it's just one of those places. And I know you love like old buildings and stuff like that. You can just feel it. You can feel it there because, you know, those stones and the wood and everything like just absorbs that energy. But it feels like such a small little quaint town. But then it just has this like heaviness. Like there's just like, I don't know if you've ever felt that in like really historical places, but it's like you can feel the, like I've also felt this like at the Holocaust Museum. Like you can feel the heaviness of like the situation, but then also the heaviness of the history of the place. And that's like totally what you get when you're in Gettysburg. Oh, I think you froze, or maybe I froze. Oh, Riverside.
Maybe there's no internet.
You left. Stupid Riverside. I don't know if he can come back in, or I need to come back in. Oh, there he is. I think you.
I don't know what happened.
I think
My
you
internet
froze.
Just
Huh?
decided to,
Oh, it was your internet?
my internet just decided to shut off. Yeah.
Stupid
I don't know what happened with that.
internet. Gremlins.
Yeah.
Oh, that stinks. You're gonna have to pay. So you can just like paste this together, like paste. You know what I'm saying? Like edit.
Yeah, it's still
together.
recording. It should be able to just.
Oh, it is?
Riverside's been pretty good as far as recording and like putting everything back together. Even when the doesn't look good when you record it, it still kind of fudges it, I guess.
I've kind of noticed that too. Like I don't know. It's weird. It does this. I used to think that you could pause Riverside, but I guess you can't anymore. So good. I'm glad we didn't have to like go out and come back in.
Well,
anyway,
for those I did an interview.
You really enjoy. I know, like just like the brick and mortar kind of aspect of things, like the materials, like we talked about in the podcast that you did on my show, which I kind of like that too because I like the history just gets trapped there. Like no matter what angle you look at it, it's just there. And so when you're walking, so there's like parts of the town. It kind of, I'm thinking about it from memory. I'm not looking at a map, but it kind of like everything goes to this town center. Like there's different little streets that go to like the middle of town, which is really just neat anyway. Like there's cool bars and restaurants like everywhere. Even if you just want to go and hang and not do anything spooky and you just want to like check out the history, it's an awesome place to like just eat and drink and have a good time. But when you're in that center and then you go off to like the different side streets, it's crazy because it's like, man, this place is just so old. Like it's hundreds of years old and you can just sense it like walking on the cobblestone. I get that feeling too, like walking in Fells Point in Baltimore because of how old, and there's history there, you know? So, but the fact that they like had to line the streets with the bodies is just, I mean, I just think like number one in July, you can't imagine what the smell was.
Man,
like
no, it was hot in May. I mean, even with the thunder shower, it was still almost unbearable at times.
Yeah, so I can't imagine what that would have been like. Just like, I mean, number one, the devastation, and then number two, like, how do you even clean up and come back from that? And it's just like, okay, now it's normal Gettysburg. Like, it's tainted from now on.
Yeah, and it wasn't even
from
like
them on.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like, you know, just a bunch of whole bodies stacked up or something. It was people who were blown to nothing in a lot of cases. Like some of them were talking about an entire cannon crew just disappearing in a single shot of gunfire. You know, the grape shot or whatever they fired out of the cannons back then to completely dismember everybody. Just pink mist.
And they're still probably finding stuff. Like they have
I guarantee
to.
there's stuff all over the place there. Yeah, there's. So, I mean, they were talking about being ankle deep, running through ankle deep blood on the fields. It's that type of carnage. It sticks. It's got to stick. You know.
Well, it just it's like soaks through the land, and then the land cries out. Ugh, so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. No wonder people see ghosts everywhere. Just a whole bunch of ghosts. Yeah.
It's just everywhere they go.
I have so many. There's everywhere they go. I mean, I have friends that are just like they still go and like. You know, I'm getting drunk and going on the battlefield and looking for a ghost. And I'm like, well, I'm just have you be blessed and have a great time.
A great time, yeah. We didn't stick around there after dark. I mean, we started at the visitor center We walked to
Mm-hmm.
Cemetery Hill. We walked across the graveyard, the big
Mm-hmm.
graveyard where it's got the spot where Lincoln gave his speech. And
Yeah.
then we started heading down that road. On the other side, there was another big hill over there. And then it started raining on us, so we had to walk like a mile and a half back to the car. And we were watching thunder strikes in the distance. Like, this isn't good, man.
It's crazy.
Gotta hurry this up and get back. We were
Yeah.
like jogging down the road at one point, getting soaked.
So did you guys just stay for a day
We didn't
or
even,
just a couple hours?
just a few hours. I mean, we were there.
Oh,
We
yeah.
were there and gone because we were on our way to Penhurst. We were on our way to Paracon, and it was like Gettysburg
Oh,
is
that's
2
right.
hours
Okay.
away from there. So we went straight to Gettysburg, spent a couple hours there, had dinner, drove to Paracon. So
Yeah.
I think it took us like 7 hours to get to Gettysburg from Rhode Island, which wasn't terrible.
Okay. Yeah. Where did you guys have dinner?
There's a brewery there. I don't remember the name of the brewery.
I think it's like Gettysburg Brewery or something like
Yeah,
that.
something like
It
that.
might just be that. Okay.
We tried to get into one of the historic places, but there was
Like
a
the Dobbin
line.
House? Yeah, forget it.
There was a
No.
line out the
Mm-mm.
door around the parking lot. We couldn't
Yeah.
even get close to it. Yeah.
You will wait to get the Dobbin House is really cool because it's they kept the house like
Yeah.
totally intact. It's really, really, really neat. And like all the history, it's like a little kind of museum when you first walk in, but they have like the wood burning like cauldron fireplace, and so
That's awesome.
but the food is, I mean, it's okay. Like it's not, you can't,
Just regular
I don't think
tavern
that
food, bar food. Or...
I mean, it's kind of, they do like a roast, and I mean, it's good food. Like they do like roast chicken. They try to make it authentic for that time.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah. Like
but the
authentic.
problem with that is like, how much can you dress up like chicken and potatoes? Like, you know what I mean? It's not, but
yeah.
it's good. Yeah. But you can tell, I don't know, I'm kind of one of those people that's like, I just want to have a fancy little dinner. And then it's, I don't know. We like it for the atmosphere more so than the food. Now, the Farnsworth House, they have really good food. Like we stayed there the second to last time that we were there. My husband and I stayed there. It was like an anniversary trip. And that was really cool. And it's like the same bedrooms. Like that was so super creepy. That experience was awful. It was just really bad. It was so bad. I can't. It's so crazy because, like, I think I told you, like, the whole, like, setup for me and Gettysburg, like, more the intentionality of, like, when we went there was different the second to last time that we went there and, like, the last time that we went. We went in, I think, June or something this year. So, like, and this was, oh my gosh, this was, like, 2018. I was in this whole, like, spiritual kick of, like, I came out of this really bad like postpartum depression with my son. And so I was like really over drinking and like super miserable. And I was kind of getting like my spirituality in check. So at that point, I was a super big like atheist turned into like new ager sort of. So I was really like doubting and questioning like any sort of like actual faith. So my friend, this kind of lays the groundwork. I had this crazy experience in Deep Creek. So my friend had a bachelorette party. And so there's like this whole house full of like, I don't know, there was like 15 of us. And the whole point of it was like, oh, we're going to have like Reiki healing and like it's like a spiritual retreat.
Okay.
So she hired this girl who's like a friend, and this girl had like I don't know. I had really big qualms about it before we even got there. I was like, because I was kind of like into witchcraft and stuff like previously. So I was like, well, who's like, I wasn't like really practicing, but I was like, I knew all the stuff. I was like, well, who's going to like protect us? Like, who's casting a circle? Who's doing this? Like, and everyone's like, oh, okay, Christina, like, shut up. You're going to ruin it. We're just trying to have a good time. Calm down with all your spiritual nonsense. Like, even before I like believed in Jesus, it's like, I was still that person that's like, well, wait a second, guys.
Yeah, right.
Weird stuff's gonna happen, so we should probably be ready. So it was a crazy time. Like I was just really, I had a lot of I was really mad. I was really mad at God. I kind of like unloaded on my friend who was a Christian. The time, all this like weird Reiki stuff, this girl's like pulling negative energy off people. She's doing all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't really feel like this is a good idea because you're mixing the pot here.
Right.
And so I had like a session done, and I was super skeptical, even though like I believed in all that stuff. I was like, this girl doesn't know what she's doing, and I don't trust her, and I'm just gonna put up a wall. So she like was doing all this stuff, and she's like, oh, I feel like you have a lot of, did you have a traumatic birth experience? And I'm like, well, who hasn't? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, so I'm just kind of debunking her the whole time. But then again, she's doing all this stuff in this house. And if you're pulling everybody's energy off of everything, we're just like making a big cauldron of weirdo spirituality, like in this place in Deep Creek.
Yeah.
And so at one point, and I have like, so my one friend was with me, and she was feeling the same vibe. She was like, I don't get this, girl. Like, something's weird here. So we go like after we get our little sessions, we go down to like it's Deep Creek's like nothing but woods. So you kind of have to walk down a hill to the fire pit, and it's all surrounded by a lake and woods. So she and I are like making a fire. I was like, I just got to get out of that house. Like, I just want to sit here, and I was still really angry and just really annoyed and like, totally stuck in like all kinds of just like negativity and like disbelief. And so we're sitting there and we're just kind of talking smack about how this whole experience is like ridiculous and weird. And all of a sudden, we both experienced the same thing at the same time. Like, I felt like just stuff was coming out of the woods. Like, so we're sitting there, we've got a fire, we're like having drinks. And I just like look at her and I'm like, do you feel that? And she's like, yeah. I was like, it feels like stuff's coming out of the woods, right? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I feel like we're surrounded. And I was like, yeah, I don't like this. And so the way that I dealt with anything at that time was I just got drunk. And so I was just like, all right, well, I know what to do.
One way to do it. That's
just like where I was. I know what to do. Like, I'm not even going to like pull out. I don't even have to pull out a Ouija board at this point.
My super cape here.
I'll fix this. Exactly. Like, I was so, oh my gosh, that poor girl, like me. I think of me back then and I'm like, if you only knew. But like, so that's what I did, right? Like, I was like, all right, I'm gonna not feel this feeling. Cause it was, Joe, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, and I shy away from telling this part of my story because I just don't know how to explain it. But it just felt like just surrounded. Like, I felt like oppressed, felt like a heaviness doesn't even explain it. Cause when you think of a heaviness, I mean, I think of like internal, but this was like completely surrounding my being. Like, it's just depression. It was absolutely like I felt oppressed, and that things were like, and I'm not talking like, Dogman or Bigfoot or whatever, like the stuff that I talk about on my podcast. Like, it's just like, it was like, no, something is here and it's bigger.
Yeah.
But it was weird because I could feel like, I don't want to say that we had like conjured anything, but it was more like you got something's attention. Like, and that's what it was.
Definitely sounds like she got someone's attention. Something was coming in.
Yeah. And it was like, I mean, not that it was me, like I'm so special, but it was like, I was sitting and just like bad mouthing God to my Christian friend and like participating in all this like weirdo Reiki and hating that too. And I was just like, probably, knowing that girl that I used to be, the drunker I got, was probably even more unhinged. Like, the crazy thing is, so we felt like that the rest of the time. Like, I was just like, okay, I brought my own tent and I'm just going to go out in my tent and I don't want to be around anybody. Like, this is freaking me out and I can't wait to go home. Like, it was just like, and nobody else felt it except me and this friend. And I was just like looking at these people like, how are you kidding? Like, you guys all believe in this stuff and like you can't even feel this like really, really terrifyingly real presence. Like, it was crazy. But so that's kind of like just started this whole sort of season in my life of really weird sort of spiritual, supernatural stuff. And it's like the beginning of my testimony. So when we left that place, it was like, we got to a point where we were coming down, because it's a mountain. So we got coming down like the mountain, and it got to a point where I was like, oh man, I feel like it's gone. Like, it's like, I feel different. I feel like it lifted, something lifted. Mm-hmm. And it was right when we got to the point of like Frederick. And so we were just like, okay, let's I was like, let's go get a coffee or something. Like, let's just, feel normalized. Like, that was at least my experience. She and I have unpacked this a couple times over the years, but she doesn't like talking about it. Because she doesn't believe that it is what I know that it was. And so as I kind of was talking to, when I tell the story, like kind of getting it all out and explaining it to people, and I've since I've become a Christian, so now understanding that it was definitely 100% a principality that I had gotten the attention of. And if you don't know what a principality is, it's just basically like a huge spirit that, okay. So it gets really kind of, principalities are really, really weird because it's basically like a spiritual, not deity, but it's a spirit that controls, has been given permission to control an area.
Okay.
So it's kind of like so when there's a lot of hot spots of like supernatural activity, like really weird kind of high strangeness, you can sort of tell that like, all right, you're going into something's territory. So this was like it's basically a territorial spirit is the easiest way. So me just kind of conjuring up my own hate and like nastiness, it was just like, hello, look at you. And
it noticed you. You got its attention.
Look, there you are. There you are.
Like, oh, hey,
you
I got
little
something
heathen.
for you. Got something to show you.
Well, actually, yes, it did. Because after that, like the reason I tell this story before I tell the Gettysburg story now is because I definitely went home with a hitchhiker. So I had gotten something's attention, and it was like, look at this little open vessel, not filled with anything Holy Spirit wise. I'm going to go ahead and just see what she's all about. Because then when we went to Gettysburg, this was not too long after that experience. It's still like the same kind of 2018, like 2017-ish area. My husband and I were celebrating our anniversary, so we went to Gettysburg. So after that instance in Deep Creek, I was like, all right, I gotta clean up my act. Like, I need to get like, I gotta lighten up a little bit. Like, let's start doing yoga. Let's get back into the stuff that we do, mindfulness, all that sort of stuff. So I was trying to fill it with something that I thought was what needed to kind of cleanse myself out of whatever. Because I still would have and I had like a shadow person that would always pop up. Like I would just get really like drunk in my kitchen. Like, and you gotta think like I had like a little kid. Like I was really in a bad place at this time. And so I would see this like shadow figure and I would be like staging the kitchen and being like, no, I'm in control here. Like you're not welcome here. Like get out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I was at that point. So we go and we're like, let's go to Gettysburg. And so in this part of my journey, I'm under the impression that I am like an empath. I'm like, you know what? I might as well just embrace this. Like, I have these powers. It just sounds absolutely asinine to say. Like, I definitely can do this because I got something's attention. So, let me just go and try to help. So when I went to Gettysburg, I was like, okay, I set like an intention and I said, whatever you are out there, I'm here to help you. Like, so another stupid choice.
God.
Like, I know.
Gettysburg. Hey, just in case you want some help, I'm here.
Hey, little soldier. Hey, little Civil War soldier.
There's
you
a
lost out
lot
there.
of guys out there. There's a lot of spirits out there.
What an idiot. I mean, I tell the story just to, for any youngsters out there listening that just want to dabble in stupidity, please come my way and share your story because what an idiot. Talk about not understanding how the supernatural and the spiritual realm work because we live in a supernatural spiritual world. And if you don't understand that, like, I don't know why you're poking around with ghosts anyway. Like, you're gonna get something's attention. And like, I say this all the time, like sometimes it might not attach to you and might not really care about you, but it could care about like 2 generations down the line. So you have to be really guarded and careful. I was an idiot because I was just like, well, I'm an empath and I can help. I'll help these little, Civil War men, ghosts.
I'm gonna invite them in and they just come on.
So dumb. And I didn't even say it out.
Walking through Gettysburg.
Oh my gosh. Meanwhile, you're walking in with like some sort of like shadow person, hitchhiker thing, entity, whatever the heck I had. I don't think that I was ever like possessed, but I definitely was oppressed by something. Like something was just, it was, I mean, I think hitchhiker is probably the best term.
I think I've had a couple of those, a couple of weird experiences
Yeah.
like that.
And
Yeah.
you got to be careful. Like, I mean, it's a risk anytime I think that you're in an area that's charged like that. It definitely is. So I personally am now like, okay, I have to outweigh like cost benefit analysis. Is it worth it to me spiritually, to have to deal with this crap? Because it was just a nightmare. Like, I mean, I was like awful and I was just like unhinged. And so like, anyway, so I'm back to Gettysburg because I still just am amazed that I was so bold in, I don't know, just like, yeah, okay. And it wasn't even like an out loud intention. It was just like an internal,
Yeah.
So my husband, meanwhile, my poor husband has this great romantic like time in mind, and we're going to go like ride bikes in the graveyard, and we're going to go to the Irish pub, and we're going to have a fun time.
Nice.
So I,
Sounds
of course,
like a great
made
time.
him
Sounds like
go.
an awesome time.
It's a great time. Like, yes, let's do this. And he doesn't believe in any of this stuff. So I'm telling him, like, oh, we're going to go on the ghost tour. And he's just like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. I'm just going to let you do your little thing. And so we went, and it's funny because we always try to get this. I can never really remember the timeline, but I think that we might have been there we were there for at least 2 nights, because the first night we got there, we went on the ghost tour. And I think we went to the Farnsworth house, and like that's where the ghost tour was, and that's where we were staying. So we went to the ghost tour, and then I believe we went to like the Dobbin house, I think, for dinner, or that might have been like the second night. But anyway, the ghost tour there was really cool because there's like a little boy ghost that they have there that likes to play like games. Like he'll stack up coins under your bed.
Interesting.
And then like, yeah, it's kind of cool. There's like a ghost cat that will like lay on you. So that's like one other thing. And that's all I really remember from the tour. Cause sometimes it's just a lot to take in. And I was just kind of looking, like, I was trying to, like, feel, like I wanted to feel something. Like, that was a big thing. I really wanted to experience something. And so the crazy thing is, like, so it's all, like, the way that it was in the Civil War. So it's, like, a tiny bed. And I'm like, oh.
This is how they lived back in the 1860s.
We have a king-size bed. Go over there. It's like really
not
tiny.
Room for the 2 of us.
Out of her. Like, so it's like, it's very like just decorated, from the era. And they had like a radiator, and we did have like an ensuite bathroom and stuff. It was like really nicely tiled. But the funny thing is, like, it's this like time hop, like you're back in time, but then you open up the window and it's like ghetto looking alley or something. And I'm like, we're not back in that time. There's like drunk people outside. So anyway, we just, we hung out, and so then it gets to like be like, okay, well, we have to like go to, like, we're going to go to bed because we had to get up, and we had like a big day planned with like the bike ride and all that sort of stuff. And then we had like dinner, reservations. We were just going to like party and bike ride and drink and then like have a nice dinner. So I'm trying to go to sleep, and it's like, there's no TV. So listen, so there's no TV. It wasn't like it is now where I can just be like, all right, I'm going to take a melatonin and just be on YouTube and then fall asleep. Like, there was none of that back in those 2018s. So I'm like, okay, like my husband's like literally just, fell asleep. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just sit here and wait for sleep to come. And I'm trying to fall asleep, and it's like, here comes the radiator making a whole bunch of noise. And I'm like, all right, well, that's just, how you're trying to like quiet your mind down, and then you hear every noise in the already creepy hotel. Yeah. So like the radiator's hissing, and then I'm like, all right, don't just okay, stop. And so I kind of fall asleep, but then what wakes me up is this pressing. It felt like something was pressing on my chest, and I wake up and there's nothing there. And then I start feeling like, it almost felt like what I would imagine sleep paralysis feels like.
Well, that's fun.
But it wasn't sleep paralysis, because I could move, you know what I mean? But it was that oppressing, weighty feeling that I felt when I was in the woods. Like, it was just that, like, But in this scenario, it was terror. Like, I was terrified. And I was just like, why am I so freaked out? Like, my mind couldn't understand it. I was like, there's nothing to make me afraid. Like, I'm not seeing anything. It was just this, like, fear. And it would just keep coming in, like, waves. And then I would hear another noise. And it's just like, what is that? What is this? This is the ghost cat. What is this? Like, you know, then I'm like, okay, I'm freaking myself out. And I'm looking over. It got to a point where I was like, okay, this is really serious. Like, I cannot sleep. And this is like, something is happening. Like, there's going to be, like, I was waiting for like some sort of like ghost soldier apparition. And then I was like, okay. And I'm thinking in my brain, like, okay, remember that time when I said, all the spirits to come here? Don't, never mind. Just kidding.
No, you can leave now.
I
You
can leave now. I don't know what to do. I was just being, it was just funny. And so I'm looking over at my husband and he is like sound asleep. He's sleeping like a baby. And I'm like, there's no way. Like, there's absolutely no way you're not, like, what is wrong? Like, I'm like looking, I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, how do you not feel this like dread? It was just like this heavy, heavy dread. Nothing there to really, and I didn't see any, I mean, there was like a light from the smoke detector. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was nothing out of the ordinary. It was just like, and I was thinking, like, there's no way that I can just conjure this fear. Like, I'm not freaking myself out right now.
Right. Yeah.
You know? I don't know if you've ever felt that before, but it was just like,
yeah. Well, sometimes when that stuff gets in on you, it's like there's nothing you could. I mean, it's like you said, it feels oppressive when you walk into a room and it's got that energy about it. There was the room. I don't know if we talked about the S.K. Pierce house in Gardner, Mass. That we went into.
Mhm.
And there was. It's got a long history. It's got a long haunted history. And there was this one room that's all pink, and I walked in there and I was like, I don't want to be in this room. There's a bad feeling. I mean, I forced myself to walk all the way in the room because I was just like, I'm gonna be in it. I'm here, but I did not want to be in that room. Every fiber of my being was like, get out of this room. Don't be in this room. This is a bad room. There's bad things happen in this room, and I just forced myself to stay in it because we were only going to be in there for 10 minutes or so.
Ugh, yeah.
But still, and there's been other places where I've had that same feeling. Like,
and that was just it's such a weird feeling, and it's hard to explain.
It's hard to explain unless you felt it. I think if you've got that sense, you've got that feeling, and I'm not a medium. I'm not sensitive in any way, but there are places that it's like,
yeah. Well, neither am I.
I know if I can feel it, there's something there, There's definitely something there.
Yeah, it was just so creepy. It was just, and like I said, it just wasn't the room. Like, it just, and I can say that with really good authority now because now, like, I know that. Like, I understand that. But in that time, I still was like, okay, there's nothing, like, is this a ghost cat? I don't know. Like, I just felt like it was an impression. And I guess I could have thought it was a ghost. But, like, now that I know what I know it's not a ghost. It's just that I was an idiot and I called down all kinds of stupid spirits to, I mean, if you want them to mess with you, they'll mess with you. Like, that's totally fine.
Oh, they absolutely
for them.
will, yeah.
So, yeah. So I got like an hour's sleep. I'm just like I was basically waiting for like the time to, it's just ridiculous. Like, and I kept getting up, like trying to wake up my husband. I would go in the bathroom but then I did get kind of scared because I was like, all right, well, now I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I'm terrified to begin with, but now I'm like, all right, are the ghosts going to start coming out of the walls? Like, where's the ghost cat? There's all kinds of sounds that you're like, is that plumbing?
Oh, and then you start hearing everything. You start hearing absolutely
then
everything.
I was on like high alert, and I was like, okay, well, I can't leave. Like, and for some reason, but I've heard that so many times. And especially like if you spend any time researching people, like cases of sleep paralysis, there's my friend Vicki Joy Anderson does a ton of stuff with sleep paralysis. Like, she wrote a whole book. The cases are very interesting because what happens usually is the person that's experiencing it, but the person that is there, and you hear this with alien abductions too, they have no idea. It's almost like they're kind of put, like, not a spell on, but it's kind of like they're silenced. Or for some reason they have a covering where they just are not experiencing what you're experiencing. And I forget what it's called, but it's like definitely a phenomenon that has like it's called something. So I think that was probably what was going on with him, where he was just like, he doesn't believe in this stuff anyway. Like, so that's one thing, but that doesn't really matter because stuff happens to people that don't believe in it. But I think that it was just not for him. Like, I was the one that was meant to experience this, whatever.
Right.
So
it wasn't there
finally,
for him, it was there for you.
Right, exactly. Because I was stupid and invited all the ghosts of Gettysburg. Come on in here, let's talk about what's gonna happen. Like, what an stupid moron. Oh my gosh. What was I gonna do too? Like, that's the thing. I don't know what I was thinking. Be terrified, apparently. I think I just wanted the experience. Like,
sounds like you
I
got
think
it.
that's really what I was looking for. I did. So it's finally time to like get up in the morning, and I'm like, okay, great. Like, my husband finally wakes up, and he's just like, good morning. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I need to go smoke a cigarette and have a Bloody Mary. This was awful. Like, everything about this experience has been terrifying. Like, I just like a mile a minute gave him the rundown of my entire haunted night. And I was like, did you seriously had no idea? Because there's stuff that like happened that I really don't remember. Like, I'm sure it's journaled somewhere, but it was just a terrifying night. And he's like, yeah, no, I slept like a baby. I didn't hear anything. And I was like, okay, you're psychotic. Like, I don't understand what happened to you. I was terrorized centimeters away from you and you had no idea. Like, And so then we're like, we get ready, and I can't exactly remember what happened, but there was a time where I looked under the bed and there was a stack of coins.
Seriously.
And so I was like, okay, forget it. Like, I was like, this is absolutely insane. And I'm never going to,
did you check before you went to bed the night before to see if
we
like
did, because
the cleaning lady would have left like little stacks of coins just to freak people out?
We did. And so like, that was the thing. Because there was a book of like, so that's another thing too. There was a book, of course, in the room with everyone's experiences. And he's like, Christina, you just read that book and you knew that these people were going to tell you the ghost stories. So you just got all keyed up. And I was like, yeah, no, that's not exactly what happened. Like, I felt like terror sensing in my body. Like, it was like a tingly fear. When your adrenaline, like, I was afraid. My body was responding to fear. So was I doing that in my mind? I don't think so. Like, I don't think you can just psych yourself out like that. I mean, you probably could, but that was not the case. And so we go about our day, like all this stuff. And really the way that we kind of like came out of, like, we ended up going to this really cool Irish bar. And so then I was just like, okay, well, again, this is my pattern. In order to go to sleep, I'm going to have lots of whiskey and just go to bed. And so not experience anything. And so we had a nice day. Like, we did all the things. Like, we did the bike tour around the cemetery is amazing. Like, that was a lot of fun. And the last time we went, I really wanted to do that, but we got there and like the bike shop was closed. But you can rent a bike and just like careen down, and it was beautiful. It was like fall. Like, it was really, really pretty. So that was really cool. But I was like shaken up the whole time. And then we went to dinner. I was just like freaked out like the whole time. I was expecting to experience that again. Like, I was legitimately scared.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, okay, is there going to be another ghost? Like, what? But nothing happened. Like, and then we did end up like drinking too much in the night. We just went to bed. Like, and I like passed out basically. It was the next day that we found the coins. And so, yeah, that was really freaky. Like, that was totally all my inviting, like, ridiculous ghosts into my life, and it was bad. And then ever since, like, so from there, I think it was just like I was done. I was like, you know what, I can't. That was stupid, and like, you need to get a grip on yourself here, girl. And so and then after that, I still had like a bunch of experiences with this shadow person, and just like things, I just had a lot of depression and anxiety, and it was just like I was not living right. And I ended up actually coming to the Lord in 2019 and like got water baptized and like kind of came back to faith. And I'm not saying that like all that stuff like went away, like, flipendo, it all went away. But gradually, when you start filling yourself up with like the Holy Spirit, like all the other crap just kind of, there's no room. Like, you're bought with a price and you don't belong to that anymore. So this is what's really funny. And this is why I was like kind of excited to tell you about this, because the last time, so we went back to Gettysburg and I did not have that. Like, I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna stay prayed up and I'm gonna enjoy myself and like we're gonna have a fun time and I'm gonna go do all the things. Like, I mean, I didn't go on the ghost tour, like, but like we still like we did everything that we did the last time. We didn't stay in the the Farnsworth house because it was just crazy. Like, we couldn't get a place because it was summertime.
Oh, okay.
But so we stayed, I think it's like the Gettysburg Inn. So that was like really, really nice. But the crazy thing is, I'm in the same place with the same energy because I could still feel it, right? Like I could feel that energy there. That didn't go away, but nothing happened to me. Like nothing. Did nothing, no oppression, and the place that we stayed was like reportedly haunted, and we went to like all the haunted. We had lunch at like the Farnsworth, all the same stuff, but it was just because I think because my spirit was so different that it was just incredible. It was like night and day. It was wild to me, and I knew that like going in, I knew that like nothing was gonna mess with me because I was like, nope, sorry. But this is what is really funny. So as I like kind of because like as a podcaster, you kind of have to like lay out all your stories and stuff. And like through the years, I've been able to like share my testimony and figure kind of timeline wise. And so I've told this story. I can't remember like where else I told this story, but and this was probably like a year and a half ago. I was telling my husband, no, it had to have been like a year ago because I've only had the podcast for a year. So we were like talking about this and I was like laying it all out like, oh yeah, I get to share my Gettysburg story. Like, it's really cool, blah, blah, blah. And like, we're like sitting outside by like the fire and like talking about it. He's like, Christina, you know that I put those coins under the bed, right? And I was like, what?
He's messing with you.
He totally messed with me.
That's funny.
I was like, what? I was like, seriously? He's like, oh yeah, I couldn't resist. He's like, you were so jazzed up and like freaked out. And I was like, okay.
And how long did he hold on to that secret for? That must have been
since 2018.
Yeah.
But I said, first of all, secrets are no fun. but then I'm like thinking about it. I'm just
You're
like,
that's a pillar of my
must have
paranormal experience now.
Right, exactly. I had nothing except my fantastic husband. But I was like, first of all, that means that I was like, no, you know what? That's on brand for you. Because that means you literally went to like the Irish bar and was like, I know exactly what I'm going to do. And probably got change. Because who has like $3 worth of quarters?
Right.
Like, just, you know what I mean? So he like totally planned that. Man, I was like, come on. That was my whole, like, that was the pinnacle. Not the principalities, not the shadow person, but like those coins. But do you see how it is? Like, we want that physical, like that physical manifestation. It doesn't matter how much it wrecks your spirit, right? We want the physical manifestation of it. So stupid. Man. So yeah, that's my Gettysburg. So if you want to be scared, you'll get scared. Totally. Just invite all the ghosts of the battlefield to just hang out with you. If you don't want to be scared,
don't do that.
Call on the name of Jesus. Don't do that.
Yeah. That's not a good idea at all, no. And I mean, everybody talks about Gettysburg as being so haunted that we're just expecting, like, we're going to snap a couple pictures with our cell phone. We're going to catch something. Clearly, we're going to see something right off the bat. That's not how paranormal experiences really work all the time, you know? I think I've caught, like, two pictures of ghosts
it's so
in
interesting.
10 years.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it really is all about, I think. Now, don't get me wrong. There's, like, stuff that happens to me now where I'm just like, okay, you can try it, but it's not going to work. Like,
yeah.
You know, I just don't, but I don't go looking. I don't like go looking for that stuff anymore because to me, it's bad enough that this stuff happened in the area, you know, and to me personally, and this is a different take because I have a different worldview than probably most of your listeners, and that's totally fine. But to me, I'm like, great. This is a really, really heavily saturated with spiritual activity area. Why don't we start like coming together and like praying for this area so that it just shuts down, but it's probably better to just like make money off of it, you know? So I kind of have that take where I'm like, we can totally, if we came together, like, and just called upon the name of Jesus, we could shut down this portal,
Right.
but we wouldn't make any money. And then Gettysburg would just be, you know, a history town, I guess. I don't know. That's just, I kind of, that like is always glaring to me in my mind. And we kind of talked about that when you were on my show, like, you know, yeah, we could shut down this because, but we wouldn't make any money, you know?
Right.
Like, it's just tough.
That's probably how I mess things up, because I go out to all these different places, and I look for creepy haunted places, witches and vampires and stuff like that. But when I get out there, it's like if especially in the like the one in Pochog State Forest, there's a grave for, it's supposed to be Maud the witch, and of course I get out there and, you know, people do all kinds of crazy things. People disturb her, people call her name, people try to rile her up. I'm out there, I'm like, okay, well, I just stop and say a little prayer for her, because obviously she was just a person like anybody else. And like the legend just came out of whatever people thought about her. But it's like, yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, this was just another person. This is somebody here, like, you know. So I stop, I say something, and I just, you know, respect and then carry on. And of course, I still, you know, obviously I've already taken all the videos, and I've like looked around and I've seen everything, and, you know, and I've done all this stuff for social media, and obviously I'm going to post all this stuff, but, you know, at the end of it, it's like, I'm just here, you know, no disrespect. I'm here to pray. Have a nice time. Thank you. See you later.
Yeah.
You know?
Like moving on.
Yeah.
Although, you know, it's funny because you've got me looking for, like, not looking for portals, but like I have this place that I go to, and that's where I do like all my prayer hiking. And I'm pretty sure I know for a fact there's like a ton of like witchcraft and like satanic activity in this trail. And so I always just kind of go, and it's like my time with God, and I like just walk and hike and like, you know, just like pray. Well, it's crazy. Like I got to this one part, I walk through these two trees all the time, and it's at the top of a hill, and it's like a steep incline, and you can kind of see everything around you. So I'm like doing my whole hike, and like I'm in the zone, right? And so I got to a point, I walked through it, and I just got this chill. And I was like, okay. So this is where I'm saying, like, there's a difference, right, Joe? So, like, ordinarily, if I were that girl back then, I would have been like, oh, there's something here. What is it? And I was just like, no, because I was like, I was prayed up, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? Like, I got this chill. I don't need to know what that chill is, why that chill's there, but I walked through these two trees, and I felt a really distinct chill. And I was like, I just heard in my spirit, walk back and say this verse. And so I walked through it back and forth and said the verse, and then I went on. And so it's like, to me, that's a supernatural encounter, right? Like something totally weird happened.
Yeah.
But I don't need to know what that was. I don't need to know whatever it is. But the spirit that's in me now is going to undo that by listening to like the Holy Spirit. I'm going to like undo. I don't know what I did in the supernatural or the spiritual. It's not my job to know, but I was there and I was ready to like do something. So, but it was funny because then I was like walking down the hill and I was like, oh man, I can't wait to tell Joe about this, because it's totally, I was like, was that a portal? Was that a forest portal?
That was something. That was definitely something.
It's something. It was weird.
That sounded like something, yeah.
And then but it was just like, all right, I was there at that time. I was like positioned to be there, but I'm not gonna, you know, I don't really care what it was. Who knows? I have no idea. Yeah. But there's a lot of activity in that area. And it's funny because when I was thinking about it, and there's a spot that's right, like when you walk down, there's a place where people always put like prayer cards, prayer things. So I was just kind of like, man, I wonder if something like happened here.
There's something,
and
there.
I like
There's
never really thought of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's like my most recent, like that was probably, I was like 3 weeks ago. I was like, man, I can't wait to tell Joe. I walked through a portal.
That's awesome.
You know, it was weird.
I think I told you about the owl experience I had, right? Did I tell you that one?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the owl one.
I think, hold on. I think so.
Yeah, where I was like walking through the woods, I kept seeing the trees with the V, and I had just recently read like, if a tree is V to the bottom, it's spiritual significance. And so I'm walking around this woods, and I just happen to see like a lot of them. Like I see like 2 or 3, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I stop for a second, I look around, at least a dozen trees like this that are all in a V at the bottom, and I'm like, okay,
that's
well, it's
crazy.
obviously something going on here. Like this is definitely weird. And me and my kid, we just walked through the whole thing. It wasn't a very long trail. It was probably like 3/4 or a mile, something like that. And we're getting towards the end, and I hear an owl, and as soon as I hear it, I'm thinking to myself like, I saw something, and I'd seen this meme or something. It was like, how many owls do you have to see before you go, okay, that's weird? And I had that thought come across my mind, like, oh, how many owls would I have to see before I thought it was weird? And almost as soon as I thought that, I heard 3 more owls out in the woods, all almost at the same time. And I'm like, okay, we're leaving. It's time to go. That was it. That was the sign. I'm gone.
I know. Every time I talk, I mean, there's a lot of like owl things that have happened to me. Like we've been seeing, so my husband and I have been seeing like weird lights in the sky by our house. We live very close to like BWI. So I'm like, all right, well, this is not, for us to see lights in the sky is very normal. But there's been a couple times where it's like patterns of lights, and we're like, all right, is it Starlink or whatever, like the satellite thing? And so, but the crazy thing is there's been times where like I see it, and like we're always outside on Friday nights. We usually have like a fire outside if it's nice. So we'll see that, and then this owl will appear, and I'll hear the owl. And yes, it could very well just be an owl, and it's just perfect timing. But the last time that we saw it, like this whole like sky, whatever, light thing, we're sitting there, and I'm like, okay, look, there they are again. And it was like one would go this way and then like go up, and one would go this way. And it's just like this line, right? So when we looked it up, it did say like that's like the satellites being released, whatever. Something's going on that's not, like, don't worry, it's not aliens. But it was crazy because before we like looked it up, I was like, dude, if I hear that owl, I'm going inside. Joe, I'm not kidding. 30 seconds later, I hear hoo-hoo, and I was like, all right, bye. Nope, done.
See ya.
I'm done. I don't care. This is just a synchronicity, and I'm done with this. I'm going to journal it.
So funny.
And I even called, like, so I do this, like, we do this live stream every month it's the guys from the Christian Theological Dark Web. And so we have this, like, prayer thing going on. And I was like, guys, this thing really just happened. I don't know what it is. And they're all just, like, sending me prayers. And I'm like, I think it might just be an owl, though. So when you talk to like normal people and you tell them this stuff, they're like my neighbor, she was asking me about it. She's like, tell me about the owl. And I was like, do you really want to know? Because I don't, and I just like go off on this whole theory. And she's like, or it could just be an owl. And I was like, yeah, I guess it could just be an owl.
Could just be an owl, but I don't want to live in that world where
there's weird high strangeness and synchronicities all around us.
Suspend your disbelief, please.
I know. There's like no, it's not a coincidence. Stupid owl. Like,
not that much of a coincidence, no. That's funny.
But I was like, well, you know what? Maybe it's like not a like scary owl. Maybe it's just like, hey, there's weird stuff happening. I don't know. Or it's just an owl.
Right.
I don't know.
So the last time I was talking to my co-host, we recorded our last episode. He was telling me like he just finished filming his movie out in the Freetown State Forest. The Freetown State Forest is super creepy, super weird. All this stuff goes on. And he says, oh, so we saw a UFO and we got it on video while we were out there. He's like,
what?
You want to see the video? I was like, yes, send me the video. Like, and this isn't the first. He's seen a UFO when he was a kid. His mom saw it. He's got a friend of his that even had a video of a UFO. So I was like, okay, send me it. I want to see it, obviously, if you got a video of a UFO. So he sends me the link on Facebook, and I see it, and I'm like, that's the Falcon rocket that just went off the other day. Like, I know what that is.
Exactly.
That's it. I'm like, oh, man, it just ruined it. Like, I should just, no, don't send me the video. I don't want to see it, because as soon as I saw it, I was like, I know exactly what that is. That's one of those things.
You should have been like, wow, you should send this to MUFON.
It's so cool.
He's like, great, thanks. Thought it was a UFO.
I didn't tell him. He'll have to hear it on this episode.
He's gonna find out. Rob, I'm so sorry about that.
It's all right. He's a tough kid.
He'll
be all right.
He'll get over it.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Poor guy. Oh, I want to hear more about this documentary. When's that come out?
They're in the process of editing the movie. It's not a documentary. It's a slasher film. He made a horror movie.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay.
So it's gonna be
Cool.
It's gonna be pretty awesome. He showed me the teaser reel, the teaser trailer that he's got set up for it, and it's looking pretty good. I mean,
Nice.
they did a great job. There's a lot of fake blood. He was on the hike with us on Saturday, and he was like, my boots are still covered in fake blood. I can't get it out.
Nice. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it's cool though because you've got like a lot of like new guests and stuff on, so that's nice.
Yeah,
you kind of like expanded
awesome,
a little bit.
Yeah, it's been really good. I'm liking having
cool.
guests on here. I don't have to come up with the story every single week. I can spread it out a little bit.
So the funny thing is I have like the opposite problem now. So I like never I mean I can get guests on that are like, other podcasters, but I never get like people on. Like no one is ever like, I don't know what it is about. It's just probably not where I'm supposed to be with it, but like nobody's ever like, I have this encounter, I want to share it on your story or on your podcast. Like it just doesn't happen that way.
I think people who aren't podcasters are kind of like, they're kind of overwhelmed by the idea of coming on a podcast and talking. I think because especially with the with Heather that I had on, she'd never been on a podcast, so she was like, she was kind of wasn't sure what it was going to be like, or, she thought she was going to have to come out to my house and come to the studio, and I was like, no, we can just do it.
No. Yeah,
no,
I know.
I
wonder if that's...
You don't have to come here. It's just doing this over the.
She's like, I'm going to go to this guy's house who I met online and do an interview.
Oh no,
like,
we met before. We went on a urban exploration before, yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. That makes more sense. But yeah, I don't know what it is. So I kind of just am like, all right, well now I have this like new, not rebrand, but it's just like I have like a new format where I pick an area and I kind of do like a fun narrative, like spooky thing. Okay. And then just like break down like certain things in the area. And I mean, I don't know, I guess people like it. People still listen. So I'm just like, all right, if that's what you guys want to hear in between like having guests and stuff. Because that's like, I mean, it's challenging too,
Yeah.
Like trying to find like even podcasters to come on.
Yeah, it can be. Some of them are hard to get a hold of. Some podcasters are extremely busy. I don't feel like I'm nearly as busy as them.
Oh, I totally am not. And my audience knows that. I'm like, okay, you guys, I just get this pulled together as much as I can, but I also have like a whole full-time, I have like 2 part-time jobs and do all this other stuff. So, and I have a child and a husband and a life.
I really love it when people know about my social media or know me through social media, and then they're like, oh, so how many people, do you have people who do your social media for you? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, you have like a crazy amount of followers on Instagram. How did that happen?
I don't know.
Did you have something like blow up one day, like a viral?
Basically just did what Scott and Ryan did and what Dave does. Mm-hmm. Dave from Down the Rabbit Hole and Scott and Ryan from Beyond the Shadows. I listened to them when they said do this, and I did it, and it worked. So.
Okay, nice.
We have different ideas. We bounce ideas off each other. I've been talking to those guys for a few years now, so. They're really good. I mean, they're both up in the hundreds of thousands of followers, each one of them. So
it's so funny because like I had one of my first interview that was outside of like my friend Crystal, because she and I would just do the show together, and she can't do it anymore. She has like a whole full-time life, and it's just, I mean, that worked out because that's just kind of like now I'm taking it like in a different direction, but. It's funny, like the first interview that we did was this lady, Bird Nerd, who's awesome on Instagram. She has like a ton of followers. So I was just like, oh man, this is really cool. But she's a really cool like white Bigfoot story that she told. Nice. But it was crazy because when I was talking to her kind of off air about like there's a lot of ins and outs when you get to a certain amount of followers on Instagram. Where like you have to like, I don't know, if you choose to, you have to really kind of keep up with the content. And I was like, yeah, that's not what I'm doing. Like, I'm not selling out to Instagram. Like, I don't care. Whatever. Cause then I talk to people and they're like, I'm like, oh, here, I made this, if we're on a show together, like, can you share this to your whatever? And they're like, oh yeah, no, I can't. I have like really good I've got really good traction on some things today, so I'm not going to post that. And I'm like, wow, way to sell out. Like,
Yeah, no, thankfully
I'm not trying to have like, yeah.
Yeah, thankfully that's not where I'm at. I just do whatever I want whenever I want, and some people complain about it, and I'm just like, I don't care. It's just me, man.
Yeah. That's like, yeah, and it's your channel, So it's your creativity. So that's how I found your podcast, was on Instagram.
It's the way to do it. If I get everybody from Instagram to listen to the podcast, that would be awesome.
I know.
Right.
I know, bro. That's the thing. I'm just like, seriously, guys, there's a whole bunch of content out here. Like, it's not just 30 seconds, whatever. So, I don't know. I have like a dedicated, it seems like a dedicated base of people. And I don't really like that. I'm not really trying to do this like full time. Like, it's enjoyable. I like being creative. I like having the outlet. Like, I always kind of wanted to be, that guy Chris from Northern Exposure, like with the radio show. Like, it just like allows me to just do my thing. So it's nice.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir. And now I have a radio spot on Midnight Realm Radio. It's like 365.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's like 10 a.m. on Wednesday mornings, but it's like it's like pretty much the same thing that you would get in the show. I just give him the same content. So he like puts it out to a broader audience, which is amazing because number one, it costs a lot of money to have a channel like on 365 radio. I actually looked into it and I'm just like, bro, that's awesome. And he's on Instagram and he's just like, hey, I'm looking for shows, That's
super cool.
Yeah. I'll send you his like link and stuff because he's always looking for people.
Yeah. We'll put the, we'll put the link in the show notes or something.
I actually put the episode that you were on recently on my podcast. So that link is out there.
Okay, cool.
That was like one of the last ones I gave him because I was like, oh, it's a lot. As much as I love the idea of doing something weekly and being sort of forced to do it weekly, like it's very hard to do. So he's just going to get regurgitated content, unfortunately.
Nice.
Yeah. So sorry, not sorry. So yeah, that's my, I don't think I have anything else on Gettysburg. I told you I was thinking about researching and then I didn't. Sorry. Sorry, bro.
Well, thank you so much for coming on here and talking about Gettysburg.
This was fun.
Amazing, yeah. Definitely a different perspective. Somebody's been there several times other than, my 2 hours and then my quick research about it. I think the fans deserve a little more. They deserve to hear
you guys have to go.
You doing this, yeah. We're gonna go back. We're definitely gonna go back.
You have to go. Just do at least, like, seriously, and especially if you're gonna like go out and have like a good time on the town, like do at least 2 days, 2 nights, really.
Sounds like the way to do it.
That way you can kind of, and just stay. It's really, really. I mean, probably gearing up now, I would not go. But it was busy, we went in June. It was busy then because everybody. Oh, that's when we went. We went around Father's Day, and it was funny because we were sitting there and like we're sitting outside. And like at like one of those like little cafes or whatever. And I'm looking around and I'm like, oh yeah, it's Father's Day. And my husband's like, yeah, so what? And I was like, what's the best thing to take? Of course you're going to take your dad to the battlefield.
Yeah.
Like, of course. And I was like, look at that. That's why it's busy here. So, but yeah, I wouldn't go. I mean, it's busy around Christmas. It's busy around Halloween for sure. If you wanted to like experience all the spooky season, like spooky feels, this would be the time to go. But you're also, I don't know if you experience this, but I think most of the time when you go to haunted places around like Halloween, it's like amateur hour. So.
Oh my God, Salem is nuts. I've been there on Halloween. It's absolutely, it's a mess. The whole thing. And then I've been to Sleepy Hollow.
I have never been to Salem, but I have.
That was crazy.
I want to go to Sleepy Hollow really bad.
It's so cool.
I've never been there.
So cool.
I know.
gotta go back.
My friend Crystal has been like, I think a couple times, and she's just like, it's just so cool. And it's stupid not to go. Like, I'm like, why don't we go there? Like, but I don't want to go around Halloween because I know everyone's going.
I went in November last year and it was crazy. Everything was still like, so there were no people there. There wasn't a lot of people, but they still had all the decorations up. So it's absolute madhouse for Halloween.
Okay. Like, when is Sleepy Hollow not like, when is it like when Ichabod Crane is there? Like, that's what I want. Like there's nobody.
That's
Because I love that
that's
story.
a Christmas story, isn't it? It's a Christmas or New Year's story. It's a New Year's story, right? It's a New Year's party.
I don't think so.
I think it's a winter. He's
I
a
don't
school
think so.
teacher.
I don't know.
I have to look into it.
If I dig all these books, I literally have the children's book behind me on my bookshelf. But if I do that, everything's going to fall off.
Save that for
I
next
thought
time.
it was a harvest. No, I'm pretty sure it was a harvest.
Harvest.
I think it's a harvest. Yeah, because I just did a harvest episode and I was like trying to find, I wanted that vibe, but I didn't want that story.
There's pumpkins, so yeah, it's a harvest thing.
Yeah, right.
Pumpkins are part of the main theme. Yeah.
But it's funny because if you actually read, we did see. Look at that.
Detectives, with little sleuths here.
Just detectives. If you ever, I'll come back anytime and we can talk about all the whatever. But no, I love that story. Like it's just such a. I love like colonial. I don't know, just ghost stories. That whole. Yeah. It's just I don't know. I know I romanticize everything, but I'm just like America.
Yeah, and realizing that all those little ghost stories were all based on basically true stories. Like he wrote everything based on stories that were applicable to the area at the time. Stuff that was real, yeah. The hanging tree, the horseman, the bridge, the woods, all that stuff. It's very cool. It's a very cool place. So.
Oh yeah. And that way, wasn't it? Oh, maybe we should do a Sleepy Hollow episode because now I'm thinking like it was a Hessian, so it was definitely was it Revolutionary War?
Yeah.
Yeah, German soldier.
Because that's the guy who was the hanging tree that they talk about in the story he was a spy. He was a British spy that was caught by the revolutionaries and hung for treason.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. I feel like there's an episode of brewing here, Joe.
It sounds like there is. All right. Thank you so much for coming on. We're going to wrap this up.
Definitely.
Do you want to tell everybody where they can find you?
Yes. So you can find me on Instagram, Sasquatch and Sourdough. You can find, if you have an encounter, I have an encounter map on my website that I am slowly building back up. It's sasquatchandsourdough.com. And you can also email me at sasquatchandsourdough@gmail.com. But mostly I'm on like Instagram. Like you can just send me a DM if you want to be on the show or if you have like an idea of something that you want me to try to cover. That's kind of like what I'm kind of doing is just like covering areas with all kinds of high strangeness, not just like ghosts or, whatever.
Awesome. Sounds good. There's a couple things that I want to put on your map, so I'll get to it at some point.
Oh, really?
Thank you.
Well, someone please do, because literally my husband made this wonderful website, like for nothing. It's an amazing little website, and every time I go and check it, it's nothing but spam. Like I get all excited and I'm like, oh, look at all these entries, and then it's like German, and I'm like, oh, I hate this. Nobody wants to put high strangeness on the map.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll put it on there. I'll put something on.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Joe. I love your podcast.
Thank you so much. Love yours.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks.